Alright, Bud, this is my cheat sheet for Wednesday, January the 11th. Alright, a quick first of thanks to the local folks with the Tea Party, with 912, the Republican Party, for inviting me out and having me be a part of your program last night. In advance of the primary, January 31st, those local organizations were looking to get out as much information as possible to people who are still undecided in our area. Put on a great program last night, so really appreciate you thinking of us and including us. All right, so we know what happened last night. Momentum day for Romney. We'll talk about politics some more on the show and in days to come. Let's move on to technology. Comcast AnyPlay. Comcast has a new app that's out for your iPad that could make your TV mostly irrelevant. There are plenty of apps out there right now in which you can watch TV shows, stream content to tablets, including an iPad. But Comcast, if you have Comcast service with AnyPlay, will now allow you to watch live TV through your Comcast subscription on your iPad. So whatever you would ordinarily watch, if you're on the go, maybe even you're outside by the pool or something, boom, you sit there and watch your live TV. How cool is that? Maybe as we're talking about the next generation TV sets, we need to be thinking that they might be the last generation TV sets, and we'll be taking our TVs with us everywhere we go. So, thought that was kind of cool. Full disclosure. It's a free app, by the way, but the Comcast subscription you have to pay for. Full disclosure. This is one of those rare moments in which increased government regulation, I think, is a good thing and is necessary. I don't know how many years it's been, but it's been years that I have been frustrated with the airline industry because of what I believe to be a lack of consumer transparency. And what I mean by that is, oftentimes, when you see a low advertised airfare, and you go ahead and book that, and you think that, okay, maybe there'll be some taxes added on or something, but you have a reasonable expectation of what your actual cost of flying is going to be. And then you get there, and you have bags. And by the time you get done, you've doubled the cost of your airfare by that and other fees. What the feds are going to do, the Department of Transportation, is force the airline industry to be upfront with you before you pay for your tickets. In particular, if you're going to have a checked bag, for example, you're going to pay for that up front. You're going to see the actual cost of doing that. And if for some reason you don't end up checking a bag, you'll get that money back. But you'll know before you ever commit to that flight at that price what your cost of flying is going to be before you get on the plane itself. And that, I think, is a wonderful thing, especially for inexperienced flyers that just don't know what they're getting themselves into. Here's the other thing. The feds are going to require 24 hours of a free change fee. So in other words, within 24 hours of booking a flight, unless it's last minute, you're going to have the opportunity to change the specs on your flight without being charged for that. There are airlines right now that charge up to $200 per ticket for change fees inside of 24 hours. So I think those two things are a big move forward. In stocks, here's one more story. This is some good research by USA Today and a piece of information I hadn't come across. I mentioned that using historical factors, and you can go back on previous days' cheat sheets and read all about it, but using historical factors that stocks in a presidential election year in which the first 5 trading days are higher, 82% of the time the stock market is higher for the year and the average return in those years is 14%. Well, here's another one for you. Since the Great Depression, anytime the stock market has been flat or just slightly up, either flat the year before, a 0 to 3% return, 80% of the time the following year is higher, and the average return in those years, 13%. It's a little more food for thought. You put it all together, and there's a very compelling argument for stocks being a really good performing class in 2012. That's the cheat sheet for today. We shall see you tomorrow.